Alrighty. So I've got 2 analogous colors and then 2 line weights. I'll start now with my lighter shade. And I'm going to use it to build a thing. And maybe build another thing. Using the full chisel to help build that body of this diagrammatic element. We can also use dashes. We can dash, 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 dash. Little spaces in between. Space between. I'm going to drop a lot of song references in the class, so be ready. Hopefully I won't get a copyright notice. Okay. So that was with the lighter color. Now with the darker color, I'll add something to that. I'll add the darker or more intense color to that. Layer it in. Using just the toe of the marker. I use the chisel, full chisel for the lighter shade. I'm just using the toe of the marker for the darker shade. Start to give a little bit of three-dimensionality to that. This is just the toe of the marker as opposed to the full chisel. See the difference that makes? Full chisel versus just toe. You can get multiple line weights out of the same marker head, no matter what brand you're using. Let that dry. Pick up any beads. There might be 1 or 2 in there, but pick those up. Oh, I've got cable problems, I think. Sometimes the cable comes out. Spots. We had to spin a lot of plates in order to make this room. So it used to be 2 different studio bays. And then take your fine line pen. If you're concerned about stickiness, just put your cloth underneath your palm like this so you can shuttle around like that. If you're concerned about stickiness, just take a cover sheet or your paper towel and you can slide around like so. And then I will add the fine line pen to the shape. Don't worry about it being a continuous line, just be comfortable. Be as comfortable as you can to make the longest arc that you can. Don't worry about it being continuous, not a problem. Variation adds character. But it is a cognitive exercise to try to follow the edge of that marker color. Your brain is working. It's working real good. Try to follow that line. And I've got my paper towel underneath my moist palm here, so I'm not transferring moisture to the paper, and so I'm not causing too much friction on the paper. The moisture in your hand can actually cause you to slow down and drag. Put this underneath and you can slide along very nicely. Now just fine line outline around this marker color. I'll do these vertical lines first. Always a good rule of thumb just to do all your verticals first, or all your horizontals first, then come back and do the opposite. That way you're not constantly turning the paper or yourself as you work the paper. Simple Mike Lynn style diagrammatic language. To add more emphasis to something, I add another line weight. So in the hierarchy pile, this one might have more hierarchy. I can always add line weight. Very hard to take it away. By adding line weight or adding a secondary line to this one, it gives more emphasis to it over the others. This works for arrows, lines, or symbols. I can always add more line weight to something. Very hard to take it away. Sometimes you only want to add emphasis to one part of it. That can work as well. Simple diagrammatic method. You can also, if you wish, if you want to letter into it, you can even add lettering into the diagrammatic method. Totally optional. You can always add your lettering after you scan it with the computer. When I'm doing diagrams, though, in front of clients or charrettes, sometimes it's helpful just to get the lettering and integrate the lettering into that diagram. Other times, we want to wait and do all the lettering in the computer. The situation will tell you what's most appropriate for the time. This is a way that you can start to diagram systems or forces. Okay, what's the reference image previewing here? What's the reference image telling us? Telling us something, isn't it? What's going on there? Okay, so the different parts of the marker head can lead to different size or emphases. Let's do an Asterix with the full chisel. I do the vertical, the horizontal, and then the diagonals. That's with the full chisel. Then I'll adjust my grip so that only the heel, dragging your heel, dragging my heels, bead, bead, dragging my heel, dragging my heel, bead, bead. Tip, only the tip. 3 line weights. 3 potential line weights with the marker head itself, plus any additional line weights that you add with the felt tip pen. Creates a system of hierarchy and emphasis in your diagram. The eyes tend to go where first? Tend to go to the thing with the most stuff. Okay, so with the tip, I can make thin arrowheads. The heel, medium. With the full chisel, big ones. Big barbaric yelp. That's with the lighter color. Give a few moments of drying. I'll take the secondary color, add that in. Layering it in there. Toe the marker. Toe the marker. Toe the marker. If you don't like something, you can always scrub it. With the AD markers, if there's something you don't like, you have the ability to scrub it like this. I come back to my original color and I can scrub this and then clean off the head using that towel. So I have, in my set, I have a colorless blender. It's always a nice thing. A colorless blender is something that you use to scrub something out. If you don't like, pick it up. Canson paper is very versatile in that. You can scrub something out entirely with a colorless blender and take it completely off the paper. It's really great for making mistakes or covering up mistakes. If you don't find a colorless blender, a gray 0 or a gray 1 also works very well as a scrubber or a colorless blender. Okay. Now with the fine line pen, take my paper towel, put it underneath my palm, the fleshy part of the hand. Move my way around the element. So what philosophically, not philosophically, but in terms of workflow of producing this graphic is different from other graphics you've done before? In terms of workflow or in terms of method, what is different or new to you at this time? What are you experiencing here? What's different? If you need to write that down, that's a good thing to write down now. So color to shape to line. Different things to include, different things to add in. Is that right?
That workflow almost forces you to think about materiality if you're drawing something.
Yes, yes. Huh? What else? Mistakes can be scrubbed out because the markers do displace each other or displace themselves, so you can scrub out a mistake very easily. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's take out a pencil now. This is where the non-photo blue pencil comes in handy. I'm going to use a different blue so you can actually see it. But a non-photo blue pencil or a very light colored pencil is very helpful because you can help establish some guidelines or some area first for a simple area diagram. So moving the entire hand, I'm just going to make a gentle kind of circular motion with the hand until you're comfortable with it. It could be an egg shape or a kidney shape, or look like a jelly bean, or just a general circle. I'm going to get a comfortable thing going there. If you have a circle template, you can use that, but I like to practice and push the whole arm movement as an alternative so that you're comfortable moving the entire arm. Here's a kidney bean sort of shape, figure 8 or kidney bean kind of shape, maybe an oval or Easter egg shape. Maybe a guideline there. Maybe another area or another shape there. Okay. Simple area diagram. This would be for building space, interior spaces, land uses, natural elements, that sort of thing. If you don't have a white undersheet, I'm going to recommend that. A piece of white underneath your trace paper. So think of wood grain may be distracting. I'm going to recommend that. So sheet of white underpaper. Okay. So that general loose guide area for area diagram is what helps establish what the marker will start to do. All right. So the next thing, we're working from less intensity to more intensity. What colors should we do next? Based on if we're going from less intense to more intense. What should we do next? Okay. Okay. Maybe there's a light green. Maybe there's a sky blue. Direction of flow for that river. I can follow that guideline like so. Yes, just the outline shape first, yeah. I'm not filling anything in just yet. Okay. And then, what do we got? We've got a purple outline of the shape. Add then the color. So that's a mixture of toe plus chisel. And look at the effect there. You can see kind of a blending effect. A little bit messy, but it's really fast. The outline of the shape and then the color in it. These are following standard land use colors. So industrial would be purple, residential would be yellow, commercial retail would be the red. So they're following the standard land use colors that you find in different mapping and GIS systems. So see the outline and then a back and forth stroke for this character here. And then I can blend that in like that. What does that do? It makes the diagram look less flat. Outline with the toe, and then back and forth with the chisel. Takes a little bit of practice, so let yourself practice that. Outline with the toe, back and forth with the chisel. Blend it in. This is just like being at the Jelly Belly store now. He mix the different flavors. That was a 1990s thing. Okay. Anybody know the Jelly Bellies? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh, you do know those. Okay. Pretty sure there was one at Circle Center Mall. I can't remember now. Okay. Let's do more residential over here. Toe and then back and forth chisel. Blend it in a little bit if you want. Okay. If you blend too much, just add a little more. It totally works. Lots of forgiveness here. Okay, you can scrub things out. You can add layers in. The 80 marker on the trace paper, there is that ability to scrub things out and add layers in. Just the nature of the petroleum 80 marker on trace paper itself. How we go? I mean, I stop and cancel. I mean, I'm totally sold. As opposed to the. Okay. So we've got the colors down. All right. I think I'll add a little bit of purple to this river using the toe of the marker. Just covers up my line. Gives a little bit of depth to it. Okay, next. All right, less intense to more intense. We can use now the red to layer this diagrammatic red over this here, over the lesser colors, like so. And you can play with the intensities if you wish, in terms of line weight. This isn't a real place, so don't worry about it. But I can layer red over most colors because of its intensity and because of its chemical composition. See how that layers over almost any color? For some reason in the reds in this set, it has an ability to layer over those colors very well. And then I'll do the outlines. I'll just outline the directions of travel over this river. We'll notch in a couple of bridges shortly. There's a bridge There's a bridge. That. There's a bridge. Riverbank. Got room here for another element. Maybe there's a city park or park reserve kind of in there. One there. Actually have the ability to flexibly add in more stuff as we work. Layer that into the diagram. And start developing a hierarchy of emphasis. Diagrammatic language over areas and elements and shapes. Need to remember to put my cover sheet underneath my hands here, but put my towel underneath. Got a towel off. I just don't want a lot of moisture transferring to the paper because it will cause some friction or will cause my hand to potentially skip or trip over something. So for smooth coverage, I want to keep that paper towel underneath my palm so I'm not transferring moisture to the paper. The edge of this, you can see that from the example there, you can actually adjust your line type to start communicating different things. Maybe this is a wood lot or a wildlife preserve or something, very rough as opposed to manicured. Maybe it's a wood lot. You can see in the example there, we make that adjustment. Maybe this is a less developed path or a more developed path. The line types, line weights, and line emphasis all tends to communicate different things visually to our viewer, to our audience. I'll finish with the thin line. Maybe those are all connections. And then I will add the thick line. Again, I can make this decision. I'm like, well, I can either add this to the exterior of this shape or I can layer over it. It's totally my decision here in terms of what I want this line to do. Either way, it's going to create some emphasis. So maybe, again, you have that decision to make. You can actually add to that line as opposed to take it away. It's totally okay. It slows you down, creates very nice, careful, crisp shapes and elements, and you just add as much emphasis as you need. Use this thicker line weight to cover up mistakes, cover up gaps. As we say in Michigan, gap. And help create hierarchy of emphasis. Got some color gaps here. I want to fill those in. Clean those up. Add more emphasis to our uses. If necessary. Add a secondary outline if necessary. Starts to recognize this as a contiguous system. Starts to emphasize this as a network. Maybe this is a contiguous system, either as a neighborhood system or as an economic system. That variety of line weights and that variety of emphasis creates interest. I'll grab a straight edge. Okay, I've got my rolling ruler. You can use a credit card, student ID, anything really. I'm just going to put a couple of guidelines for lettering. With an upper third. Upper third. Upper third. Not going to put anything on the river though. I will letter that within the line. The river. The park. A reserve. The residence. The retail. Just adjust your lettering to the situation or the size. Uppercase, lowercase, your choice. Right now, my first years, I'm teaching them both. A little bit of color pencil. Don't need a lot. Just a tiny bit. Adds just a touch more character. You don't need a lot. Just a touch. Just a kiss. Sound effects are optional, but encouraged. Oh, forgot. They're in here. Ah, yes. I hid them in the other pouch. Like a kangaroo. Just a touch of colored pencil. Just a kiss in the areas of emphasis that extra touch of colored pencil. Covers up any gaps that you might have, covers up any mistakes. And what's really magical is that the petroleum in the markers actually melts the colored pencil just a tiny bit. It's amazing. So we come back to our non-photo blue pencil, and just going to do a series of smaller things. More complexity, more stuff going on. This is a highway exit, as you might derive. So it begins as loose jelly beans, eggs, Cadbury eggs, arcs or lines. Okay. Work from less intense color to more intense color. So next color would be what? Less intense to more intense. Okay, so the yellow or the pink. Toe of the marker, back and forth, back and forth. Come on. Toe of the marker, back and forth, back and forth. Toe of the marker, back and forth, back and forth. Give it a blend. Light green. Let's see here. Kind of an edge there. Maybe a little bit of woodland. Give that a waft or dry. A little bit of a blend. Bit of red. Bit of back and forth. Little blend. Doing okay? So far, so good. Okay. A node. 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 A node. Water. Oh, school. And then, once those are all laid in, then with the red we go from most intense movement to least intense movement. Full chisel here for the highway, the interstate. Heel for the collector corridor. Using the heel. Be extremely careful. Hamilton County roundabout. And then the toe for the stroads. Connections to the land uses. Plus the exit ramp. Okay.
That is music for WTCS. That is a new song from Bokar. It's a new songwriter from London. First time, and we have a new album coming from Bokar. It's full length, which will be released sometime in 10 months. This is 11 months. Sometime in the next 11 months, a new album from Bokar. It's part of our Music Block each weekday at 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. So we have a new member of the WTCS team, and we're very proud of this. Dave Lindquist has agreed to join all the knuckleheads here and talk about his love of music and turn everyone some great releases. Monday nights at 7 o'clock, it's the beat with a linguist, local, independent, underground music, French music from familiar artists. And for the premiere show on Monday night, Dave will talk with the legendary Mike Campbell. Of course, very busy from the Heartbreakers to the Past Big Knobs. He brings it home, too. Find out about the making of Mary Jane's Last Dance and what all that means. And also the time that the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers played at Fort Victory and the electricity went out. Dave hits on that as well, and Mike certainly remembers it. So make sure that you're listening on Monday night to the premiere episode of The Beat with Dave Lindquist. We'll also have music from the Future Bridges, No Joy, and Fun Talk. We have more at WTTSFM.com.
When it's time to upgrade your company's computers, make sure you're recycling your old equipment with someone you trust. Experamax in Avon is family-owned and locally trusted by business owners all over Indiana.
Hi, this is Ryan Grimes. I'm the president of My IT Group. Experamax makes it easy for our clients to sell off their computers that have reached the end of their life cycle. Best of all, we know we're working with a local company that we can trust.
Hi, I'm Brian Culp with Morgan Insurance Group, and I always send my clients who have computer needs to Experamax. So if you need a new computer or
KEXP, an affiliate of the University of Washington. Support for KEXP streaming comes from listeners like you. Consider joining the thousands of people who make independent radio like KEXP available to the community. Details on how you can join our Amplifiers Club and make a difference today at kexp.org.
Fascination with the soul.